How do you create a sense of belonging at work? I am super psyched to answer this question. I'm gonna offer 3 very fine-tuned definitions for connection, belonging, and trust. You can then take these 3 definitions and use them to create a culture with increased belonging in your own organization. I'll also share a couple really cool examples, one from visiting my visit to Airbnb headquarters. That was a little bit of an insight on how they create belonging, seeing that their mission is actually to give everyone a place to belong. Let's get into it. Part of what inspired this video was a buddy and fellow speaker, Tom Kriegelstein, who is a master at creating cultures of connection in the groups that he works with. So he's one of the connectors that I love being connected to, and he's thought a lot about belonging. In fact, he was reading a book titled Belong, which we'll put up right here. And the quote that he shared, he sent me a picture of his Kindle. The quote that he read, I'll read to you here, is belonging is a dance between polarities. When we dance between the we and the me, magic happens. There's the ethos for our video. So that's a little bit philosophical, a little bit ethereal. Let's kick things right off with these definitions. So connection, belonging, and trust. Before I give you these definitions, this came from me and Will going back and forth. We have spent 10,000 hours thinking about how to amplify connection, belonging, and trust. And so we've packaged our ideas into this toolkit, and the definitions that I'm going to offer you right now, it's really simply connection happens when people are seen, heard, and understood for exactly who they are and who they are not. Really valuable little nuance there. Belonging is when people are accepted for who they are and who they are not. So connection, seen, heard, understood. Belonging, sure, seen, heard, understood, but accepted for who they are or who they are not. You're watching this video of how to create a sense of belonging. Acceptance is a really key word there for you. And lastly, trust is when people can express who they are and who they are not, with an assurance of being included and uplifted in the process. So they can express an interesting level of trust, right? So belonging is can be quieter, right? It's like a quieter thing. Trust is can create a little bit more noise, right? If I really have trust, then I'm gonna feel psychologically safe enough to express myself and trust that, or not even just trust, I have the assurance that I'm gonna be uplifted in the process. So Airbnb headquarters, this was a few years ago. I was actually, when I went to Airbnb, I was doing some work with an organization called Education Elements, and we were looking at what we can take from private industry and weave into education. So we were going through Airbnb. I actually crashed into Simon Sinek at Airbnb headquarters. It was kind of like a surreal moment of I think I saw your golden circle. Yeah, anyway, right near where I bumped into Simon Sinek, there was a doorway, and over that doorway read, "You belong here." How cool is that? The 2,000 plus employees that work for Airbnb, when they walk through that doorway, there's a visual reminder that says, "You belong here." If you want to increase the sense of belonging in your context, make it super explicit. Don't try to hide the fact that you want people to belong there. And if you get the sense that people don't feel like they belong, ask everybody what you can do to increase that sense of belonging. And when you figure it out, plaster it on the wall. Maybe not literally, but make it a thing, right? When you figure out what makes people feel like they belong, really invite that in. I would say that acceptance is a big ingredient of that. So getting less philosophical and more practical, I love this concept, the term that Peter Block coined, connection before content. We've taken that phrase and just ran miles with it because I think it's the most practical, lowest hanging fruit, cheapest, quickest way to, over time, increase a sense of belonging. So connection before content allows people to connect to each other. It creates an option and choice for authenticity and vulnerability. And 3, what most icebreakers or connection activities miss is it connects to the purpose of why you're there. Here's a really good connection before content question to ponder. How might we highlight and connect to our purpose? If you can answer that question, and maybe you do this once a quarter, how can we highlight and connect to our purpose? When people have a shared purpose that they can all buy into and get behind, also increases that sense of belonging. One other connection before content prompt, just as a reward for making it to this point in the video, is that I really like is, if you really knew me, then you would know ... Invite people to fill in the blank in the chat, on sticky notes on the wall, verbally, in person, right? If you really knew me, then you would know ... Hopefully those definitions, the philosophy, and those couple activities help you create and foster a sense of belonging at work. I'm Chad Littlefield. I get to do this for a living. We give away a ton of free resources in the description below. If you want to have a chat about how your organization can do this, there's info for that as well. Feel free to peruse around our website. Got heaps of stuff to help you answer this question deeper and more meaningfully. Have an awesome day.